On Earth, life can be found in parched deserts and icy tundras, as well as hot, poisonous vents at the deepest parts of the ocean floor. But it can't exist everywhere on the Earth, so now we'll tell you about 10 places on the planet where no one lives. You are watching Mr.FactHunter, and if you were curious about these extreme places with crazy conditions, then stay tuned till the end of the video. Number 10. Yellowstone's Hot Springs. You couldn't do much better than the circumstances in Yellowstone's hot springs if you wanted to kill something or just dispose of a body. The springs are acidic enough to disintegrate nails and approaching the boiling point of water. However, certain bacteria flourish there, and the colors they create give the springs their vibrant, unearthly hues. Yellowstone has the greatest known diversity of archaea because it has so many hot springs, mud pots, and geysers with a wide range of temperatures and chemical compositions. Archaea are simple, single-celled organisms without nuclei that have only been discovered since the 1970s. Number 9. Vostok Station. According to the World Meteorological Organization, on July 21, 1983, Vostok, a historic Soviet Union research station in eastern Antarctica, recorded an extraordinary temperature of -128.6 degrees Fahrenheit, -89.2 degrees Celsius. It is the coldest temperature ever recorded by a weather station. So, unless you plan on getting a major frostbite and then don't mind being shattered into pieces once you fall, or something even touches you, feel free to live there. Number 8. Atacama Desert. Atacama Desert stretches over 1,000 kilometers into the Pacific coast of South America. It is the driest non-polar place on Earth. Temperatures in Atacama Desert range between 0 to 25 degrees Celsius. The annual rainfall in this desert is less than 1 millimeter per year and 50 times drier than that of Death Valley. Also, very little organic material contains in soil of Atacama Desert. At the same time, presence of non-biological oxidizing chemicals are also found in Atacama. Life here is merely impossible. Number 7. The Galapagos Islands. They are, after all, famous for influencing Darwin's theory of natural selection. However, the fact that these islands are almost entirely devoid of life makes it easier, at least in hindsight, to witness evolution. They arose from the craters of still active volcanoes in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. They were 600 miles from land and heat sterilized. Everything that lives there now came in on the wind, sailed in on a raft of vegetation, or sailed in on a freak current. That is, unless you count the species that humans have lately brought. Because colonization was uncommon and most species stayed where they landed, relatively simple ecosystems arose, with enough variation among islands to serve as a showcase for evolutionary principles. Number 6. Acidic mine drainage. Beginning in the 1800s, gold, silver, copper, and other minerals were mined atop California's Iron Mountain. The minerals were deposited with a lot of sulfide, a chemical that converts to sulfuric acid in the presence of water, in the roots of a volcano. Sulfides were exposed during mining, resulting in tailings that were as acidic as battery acid and loaded of heavy metals like arsenic. Some of the archaea in the mine devour iron and actively convert sulfide into sulfuric acid, making the already acidic circumstances much more acidic. The acid eats away at the cave's pyrite or fool's gold and other minerals, adding more metals to the deadly soup. Although it was not Chernobyl, a 1979 accident at 3 Mile Island resulted in the partial meltdown of a reactor and the emission of radioactive gas into the environment. It took a long time to clear up the mess, which was primarily done with robots and remotely operated cranes under the supervision of video cameras. The cooling water near the core was hazy, much to the amazement of the cleanup crew, and microorganisms were thriving in it despite high amounts of radioactivity. Number 5. Beneath a crack in Death Valley National Park. Death Valley is the lowest, hottest, and driest place in the United States, making it an unsuitable environment for fish. But 7 species of pupfish, the last survivors of 10,000-year-old lakes, are clinging to life. The fish are now trapped in springs, saline marshes, and Devil's Hole, a subterranean aquifer accessible only through a thin fissure in the rock. Number 4. Singhi de Bimarahan National Park. This national park is centered around 2 enormous geological features called Great Singhi and Little Singhi, which are located on the very western edge of Madagascar, an island off the coast of southern Africa. These rock formations are plateaus that have had deep ruts bored into them by groundwater, rendering them completely impassable for transport or walking. When translated, the word Singhi means, quote, where one cannot walk barefoot, which is the ideal moniker for this extraordinarily unusual part of the planet. The park was made unexplorable due to the enormous region in which these formations are located, and the fact that crossing the jagged plateaus is impossible. Number 3. Oymyakon. The distant Russian hamlet of Oymyakon is home to the world's coldest inhabited settlement. On February 6th, Oymyakon reported a temperature of minus 67.7 degrees Celsius. It is the lowest temperature ever recorded in any inhabited location on the planet. As a result, Oymyakon is also known as the northern pole of cold. The mountain that surrounds Oymyakon town acts as a barrier, trapping chilly air within the valley. In Oymyakon, the average temperature in January, February, and March is negative 50 degrees Celsius. Number 2. Dead Sea. The Dead Sea, also known as the Salt Sea, is located on Jordan's and Israel's border. This salt-rich lake surface lies 423 meters below sea level, making it the lowest spot on the planet's surface. With 34.2% salinity, it is one of the world's saltiest bodies of water. This hypersaline lake, which has a depth of 377 meters, has a substantial mineral content. The unusually high salt concentration also allows people to float in the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea's higher salinity creates a hostile environment in which species cannot flourish. Number 1. The Desolate Ponds. Last but not least, we bring you to the most inhumane location on the planet. According to a new study, scientists have uncovered a spot in Ethiopia where life is unable to thrive. In contrast to prior study, experts concluded repeated tests and discovered that Dalol is devoid of life, including bacteria. Dalol is one of Earth's most hostile environments, being extremely hot, salty, and acidic. Its ponds, which stretch across a volcanic crater in Ethiopia's Danakil Depression, are filled with salt, toxic gases, and boiling water as a result of severe hydrothermal activity. Daytime temperatures can reach 113 degrees Fahrenheit even in the winter. Negative pH levels can be found in some of the super acidic and saline pools. Because they contain chemical barriers like chaotrophic magnesium salts that help break down hydrogen, the Dalol ponds actually prohibit life from forming. Life isn't encouraged in the pools because of the salty, acidic, and hot climate. This was all about 10 places on Earth no one lives, 2022. What are your thoughts on it? Let us know in the comment box below. And if you like this video, then don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you share it with your friends before calling it a day.